The Savoy in London was the location for Nuvias TechTalks, which UC Today attended at the start of June. We spoke to Steve Harris, CEO of Nuvias UC, to find out more.
So I think really for us it's the annual opportunity to get our customers, staff and vendor partners together under one roof. We get the chance to share ideas, share disruptive new services, new technology, and really help our partners look at new services they can deliver to their channel or through to their end users that will deliver more revenues for them in the future.
Yeah, you mentioned in terms of learning about those new technologies, you've got a selection of talks going on downstairs about hot industry trends and topics, and up here you've got all of your key vendors here. We've got Cisco behind us, Poly, Blue Jeans, there's loads more. I suppose the opportunity for you to bring the vendors and your customers, service providers, resellers together and update them not only on the vendor offering but also what you're doing at Nuvias from a value-added reseller, a distributor perspective is really important.
Yeah, exactly. I think what we do with our vendors is obviously central to what we do. We've got some great strategic partners and some great relationships. We've also got a completely varied type of partners here at the event, which is great. So it enables us to talk about what we do specifically with those vendor offerings and how we put some unique value into that around software development, around genuine value add. So what we tend to try and do is look at how we fill the gaps. So our partners may have specific expertise in certain areas which they need us to help them in others. Certainly the cross at the moment between video, voice, through to a much more unified communications experience is something that we're really able to add value with our partners, and it's great that we have an annual event where we can genuinely share what we do.
Yeah, and I suppose that we're forever hearing that service provider reseller market is incredibly competitive and increasingly so, and everything that you can do from a distributor perspective, we were talking before we started recording about some of those things, is really valuable, isn't it?
Yeah, and we have to make sure we can communicate it in a coherent way. This event enables us to do this. We do a lot of stuff during the year, but a lot of what we do, we can genuinely share any announcements, our launch of new products, of new services, and really to update, a chance for us to update what our vendors are doing, and with all the extra value that we can add on top.
And finally, we were talking a little bit before about recording about your sort of strategic plans for Nuvias UC. So I was hoping, without giving too much away, you could give us a little preview of what's going to be happening over the next 12 to 18 months, what your plans are.
Sure. I think certainly we had a fantastic year last year. We really consolidated our leadership position. We grew from about 28 million in revenue to 48 million in revenue. We're looking to probably get to around 80 million revenue this year, which is obviously another massive jump. To do that, we're going to continue to expand in Europe. So, a lot of our base is still really focused in the UK. We've got a fantastic opportunity to take our learning experience and the skills that we've honed over the last few years into the European marketplace, where we're only just really starting. And then for us as well, you'll start to see some announcements around some new technology areas where certainly what we do around software and what we do around software development and how we can really automate our industry and really help our customers deliver a much more seamless experience to their end users is something that we'll really be focused on.
We then caught up with Nuvias UC's technical director Rob Smith to find out more about its work with the industry's leading vendors.
We've been a Broadsoft partner since 2009, who Cisco acquired last year to underpin their WebEx calling service offerings. That technology platform is driving that. We've got significant experience in delivery of that, both in data center and as a cloud service. And then what we've done really is built a whole services portfolio to help the Cisco partners really take that to market. That can be as simple as for us providing distribution of endpoints with installation services across EMEA, right the way through to where the partner focuses on sales and marketing, and they outsource all the technical operations to us for support, provisioning, even pre-sale services.
Yeah, and having that relationship with a partner like Nuvias, who's got that accreditation and that level of experience, obviously previous with Broadsoft and now with Cisco, it's really important, isn't it, for service providers and resellers to be able to leverage that?
It is, yes. I mean, it's really for them about getting to market as well, sort of quickly. So, they may have the resources in-house day one, they may not, and what they can do, they can back off that to us whilst they get their business going with WebEx calling, with a potential to transition all those services in-house after 12 months, or even continue that relationship with us where, like I said, they focus purely on the sales and marketing of the service, and they work with us to do all their technical services in the background.
And that's a really good example of how you guys at Nuvias and Nuvias UC do things a bit differently to the established distribution channel. And the other thing that I was talking to you about before the recording, which I know you put a lot of emphasis on, which traditional distributors don't tend to, is the software development side, and you've got a lot of that in-house as well. And we were talking about automation.
Yes, it is. So no, we built up the engineering services portfolio for many years, and then we looked at things around where we were always innovating and bringing new vendors to our portfolio, new services, and we looked at this and said, how can we change that innovation? And part of that was around automation. And so what we've done, we brought in a software development team in-house, have built that up over the years, and then really focus on tools and platforms to drive innovation and automation. So some of those things are around offering the partners, the channel, the ability to order through us automated way through APIs directly into our ERP systems, as well as offering a web store, it's called Hub, that is multi-tier, it's brandable, allows them to define their presence in the market with their own products, their own pricing, their own brand, and sell that through, right away through to a device management platform that allows them to effectively provision, to monitor, and to even do some network assessments before they deploy those endpoints into the market to see what the quality is like as well of that. So all those together provide us with, I think, a very sort of unique offering to the market. And with us as well, we drive automation internally, where today 2/3 of our orders through the business are fully automated, and that will only grow.
And I suppose that effort that you've put in terms of the development of that team and the work you've done, it all effectively hits the bottom line for a reseller and a service provider in terms of the amount that you can save them on mundane administration tasks and some of those things you can automate. It just removes that cost from their books.
It does, and as a business, we've gone through that as well. So we acquired a distribution business back in 2012, and we come from a consultancy business, if you like, or a system integration business to that. And so for us, we had to automate things for us to scale effectively and efficiently. And so what we looked at that and said, how can we do the same things now for our customers and our partners by putting tools into their hands? Many of them are free of charge. Some we charge for, we have to, but the idea is to make it easier for them, to move into the world of being, electronic and e-commerce and work through us in a way that's different to other partners.
Filled with exciting and informative content for partners, TechTalks was part of the attraction, which brought a new arrival to Nuvias in the form of VP for Sales, Glyn Jones.
So from the role perspective, I joined the business of VP Sales for EMEA, so primarily the UK, but also with Benelux, France and the Nordics, part of that mix as well. I've known Steve Harris, the CEO, for many, many years through business relationships through Polycom days and Siphon Networks. And I've got a lot of time for Steve, and I like to think he has for me as well. And Steve was looking to build out the management team in the business, take some of the pressure off him on a day-to-day basis, allow him to do some of the strategic things, potential inorganic growth opportunities for Nuvias UC, and we started conversation about 3 months ago, and we kind of refined what the role would be throughout that time, and handshake, paperwork signed now, and I joined last Monday.
Well, it's a really interesting time, obviously, as you know, with your industry history for the unified communications and collaboration market in general. And from a Nuvias perspective, it's a really exciting opportunity. And today you were talking about the opportunity to meet the partners. It's a great opportunity, isn't it? It
is a great opportunity, and clearly I know the business quite well. I think I understand the value that Nuvias brings to the distribution in the UC space in terms of some of the the technologies around provisioning, but also making it easy for resellers to buy through automated systems. And I was really passionate, enthusiastic to make sure that we can grow the team, grow the business, and meet the organisational aspirations, and that's continued double-digit growth. It's been great so far, but I think it needs to step up in terms of the somewhat process, the discipline, and making sure we're doing the right things for the partners, but equally for the vendors as well. And it's great to have such a broad set of vendors in this space that we can work with to grow this business holistically.
Yeah, and you were perfectly on messaging there, Glyn, because we're right in front of the Nuvias Made Easy slogan, and that's the whole goal, isn't it? To make these technologies, which are emerging and can be complicated, an easy process from every level service provider, reseller.
You're absolutely right, and I think if you look back to the Siphon Networks days pre-Nuvias, then Siphon were tremendously successful in making it easy for service providers to deploy broadsoft networks, to deploy handsets onto those broadsoft networks. So it makes it a far more straightforward purchase from a company such as Nuvias, who have really worked very, very hard at developing the appropriate infrastructure to support those sales activities. and ultimately supporting the resellers, the ITSP partners in that community as well.
A huge part of the event were Nuvias' partners, and Nicole Dinage, EMEA Channel Director for Blue Jeans, told us about its attendance at the event and its latest announcement.
We launched Rooms as a Service, which is a tie-up between ourselves, Blue Jeans and Dolby. We've been tied up and integrated very heavily for the last 2 years, both from a software perspective, having Dolby in our infrastructure and all of the wonderful things that comes from Dolby Voice. Also from a hardware perspective, and on the 15th of July we will start shipping in the UK, France and Germany Rooms as a Service, which is essentially a Dolby unit with a Blue Jeans license, and it is literally as a service. So it's the way that end users want to consume this technology now. We're seeing a shift from capex type of transactions and customers wanting to just use this on an OPEX type model. It isn't a leasing agreement, it is absolutely as a service. And we're very excited because the take-up that we're seeing, even from a pipeline perspective with end users, is tremendous. So we're hoping for big things coming into July and August.
We've seen a big shift in software already to that as-a-service model, and the fact that's now reflected in devices, and the work you do at Blue Jeans in terms of enabling that easy meeting experience, and the work Adobe have done with their high-end video and audio software. It makes a couple of things easier, doesn't it, in terms of logistics, but also management and administration of those systems for customers and partners, we should say as well.
Yeah, so the idea with this devices, or Rooms as a Service, we actually was calling it RAS, is that devices will turn up on customer site, they literally place an order, partners can put professional services around it as far as installation and support. But because it is plug and play, a lot of the customers are actually saying, well, just give me the boxes, I'll plug them in and have them up and running very, very quickly, especially for satellite offices where they don't need, big type room or boardroom type scenarios. So great for that. In terms of managing those devices, that's one of the big problems with a lot of the room setups now, where you've got different components, you've got, nooks, you've got different cameras, you've got different software. From an IT management perspective, it's very tricky. So with our command center, which is a huge USP for us, the ability to deploy, manage and facilitate these rooms through the IT platform, through command center, makes this a much easier and more effective service for this type of room setup than we've seen previously.
Well, that is really exciting, and I very much look forward to see how that rolls out around the country. I also know you're on a panel later on this afternoon talking about Microsoft Teams, and I was talking to you before we started recording this. There's a lot of work on in the industry at the moment in general, as Microsoft are encouraging customers, and I'll say encouraging rather than forcing, customers to make this transition from Skype for Business to Microsoft Teams. And partners like Blue Jeans, you're helping customers and partners in that process as much as possible.
Yeah, absolutely. So, Blue Jeans has always had a very strong integration with Microsoft, both from a Skype for Business perspective, but also as a Teams perspective. Teams is, according to Microsoft, the fastest selling and deployed software that they've ever brought to market, and we are absolutely part of that journey. So in October last year, we launched in EMEA our software gateway service, which is one of only 3 accredited platforms for this type of service. It is the only proper true cloud gateway service, and I must say the speed of sales cycle, the desire to deploy this Teams gateway, because let's face it, every single organisation, enterprise organisation out there who is moving to Teams will have an existing video estate, be it a Poly estate, be it Cisco, be it Lifesize, and most of them will have mixed. And even if they don't, and they go Teams endpoints all the way, they'll want to communicate externally with customers who may have Cisco estates. So this need for this gateway platform is absolutely, it's a pain point that needs fulfilling, and we're very excited because we're seeing a huge take-up for this gateway platform, more than we really anticipated. So all good news for us, and we're looking forward to some huge revenue sales in the next few months.
Cisco are one of Nuvias' biggest vendors, providing a full portfolio of UC solutions. Senior Channel Manager at Cisco, Sarah Turker, told us more.
It's great that they've invited us here today. We've got a great display of our product set. Nuvias play a massive part to us because they are selling our hardware, so our MPP handsets.
Yeah, in terms of, I was having a look at the booth before, and the really interesting thing about Cisco, and the guys from Nuvias echoed this, is that you have that full stack solution, don't you? Right from the communication collaboration software through to WebEx collaboration boards, the phones that you were talking about, and now the new headset range. So the fact that you can provide that entire technology stack is great from a distributed perspective.
Totally agree. So to be in Cisco collaboration is the place to be at the moment. So exactly how you said, we've got WebEx calling, we've got Teams, and we've got WebEx meetings. So we have the full end-to-end stack. So this is a great place to be at the moment, and very exciting times ahead.
And in terms of the partners and customers that are here, so these are service providers and resellers of Nuvias's. There's a lot of interest in the booth. I noticed the booth's been really busy today. You must be having, sort of a dramatic amount of people looking at the Cisco solutions in each area.
Yep, totally. Really good feedback as well, and partners are really excited with all the new features that are being added constantly. So things are going very well.
Nuvias TechTalks provided everyone in attendance with the opportunity to explore the latest solutions available in the industry. For more on Nuvias' UC offerings, head to uctoday.com.